Following last night's Tory leadership TV debates, Boris Johnson has come out to urge Conservative members to stop Rishi Sunak from becoming Prime Minister. Wow, what an evening last night with the first Tory leadership TV debate on Channel 4. I don't know if you guys watched it, but let's just say that the audience were definitely impartial, definitely balanced. The questions, definitely normal. The host, definitely not left-wing. But we saw what happened. Liz Truss didn't perform well. Putting aside politics, left, right and centre, Tom Tugendhat did quite well. Although it was an easy ride for him because he was already on the outside. He was not associated with the government. And Liz and Kemi Badenoch went after Penny and they exposed her. We are going to talk about all this on the channel tonight and tomorrow as well. Rishi Sunak actually did better than expected. He wasn't as damaged, but again, the audience were not necessarily conservative or Boris lovers, or they were probably happy with Rishi. So Boris came out earlier to intervene. It's not part of the convention, whether privately or publicly, to go around and lobby against the candidates if you're Prime Minister or if you're party leader. But there is this urgency inside Number 10 Downing Street with Team Boris to stop Rishi Sunak. It's not just a personal vendetta, but it's also apparently policy differences, even though they were both part of the same team. Who knew? So the Number 10 source we have says, the whole Number 10 team hates Rishi. It's personal. It's vitriolic. They don't blame Saj for bringing him down. They blame Rishi. They think he was planning this for months. Well, we know he was planning this for months. Why do you say he was planning for 2 years? The moment he started posting on Instagram with hoodies and Bluetooth coffee mugs, whatever that was about. I'm still confused about that thing, but if you guys remember, Christmas present from his wife. But we have one of the Boris Johnson allies and friends also coming out to say that, of course, Boris is disappointed. Of course, he's frustrated. He's been pushing Rishi for a compelling growth strategy for many months without success. So alongside the sense of betrayal is a sense of regret about what could have already been well underway. So this is interesting because Number 10 came out and said, well, it's Rishi and Chancellor who is not really doing the proper plan, economic plan. Rishi has come out now to say, well, now I can't have a proper plan because Number 10 was stopping me. As I said last week, one of them is lying. Sure, one of them is lying. But the reality is, even if Rishi Sunak and the Treasury were not really saying yes to Boris, that's still on Boris Johnson. You know, that means that he was not a good leader if he can't make his team do the work. So it's a two-way street, I guess. Rishi Sunak and his team, not well, but Boris Johnson's leadership were absolutely weak as well. Now, one of the fascinating things is that in response to this, Team Rishi Sunak came out to defend their platform by saying, Rishi led the way in enforcing the toughest sanctions on Russia and ensured that our allies followed suit. What are you talking about? We're talking about football. They're talking about cricket. Why is that the defense for the campaign team? Why is the Treasury taking credit for this? What happened to the Foreign Office? What happened to Number 10 that led the movement? Boris had to chair the meeting with Ben Wallace and Rishi Sunak and everybody else. And somehow Rishi led the way. Maybe he did. But if you don't have any evidence, don't just come out and give us your rhetoric because it's absolutely meaningless. Now, this vendetta is going to continue. Boris Johnson, David Cameron, when he left as leader and Prime Minister, he resigned. He didn't stay in Parliament. He wasn't really pro-public service in terms of a constituency MP. As opposed to Theresa May. Theresa May is still a backbench MP. She's a very good local MP. Boris Johnson has said he wants to stay. So like Theresa May, but not for public service or constituency reasons. No. He's already said openly that he's going to be a proactive backbench rebel. Especially if Rishi Sunak becomes Prime Minister. He said, I'm going to join the backbenchers to tell the truth. That will be dramatic. But he's going to talk about the Brexit stuff. He's going to talk about Ukraine. He's going to talk about the net zero stuff that, I have a feeling he might put some of the blame on Rishi, and Rishi's going to blame Carrie Johnson, and Carrie Johnson's going to blame Dominic Cummings, and it's a circus run by clowns. Get used to it. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to come back in half an hour, a quick break, and we have some updates for you guys about what's happening with Penny Mordaunt. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.